And good evening, East Alabama and West Georgia. Thursday, May 9th, 2024, 8:39 p.m. Central. Dr. Don with you. And, boy, we have gotten to know each other very well here in the last 24 to 36 hours. And yet here we are again. We have some very strong thunderstorms occurring across central Alabama. And some of those storms are beginning to migrate slowly into east central Alabama. So we're going to spend a few minutes and we're going to talk about what's going on out there right now and what we think may happen over the next several hours. But I'll preface all of this by giving you this bit of good news. This is it. Once we get this area of activity done, we are done. And we've got an absolute gorgeous weekend on the way for East Alabama and West Georgia. So let's take the radar back full screen and let's go through this. And let me tell you what's happening right now. First and foremost, we have a potential major flooding emergency unfolding in the greater Birmingham area. We have got just huge amount of rain that continues to dump on the Birmingham area, especially on the south side of Birmingham. We're talking about Hoover, Inverness, Alabaster, all the way down into the Montevallo, and now down into the Centerville-Brent area, West Blockton. Just a tremendous amount of rain down here. And we're already seeing reports of Highway 31 there at the Galleria. It's pretty typical. That happens. But that's been underwater now for about the last 30 minutes. The Highway 31 area, not the Galleria. But major flooding taking place there on the south side of Birmingham. And we have multiple counties under a severe thunderstorm warning. And basically, let me see if we can get that county list up here for you, because it's a lot of places. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for southwestern Talladega County in east central Alabama. That warning is in effect until 9:15 p.m. this evening. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Tuscaloosa and northeastern Hale County. That one actually has been canceled. Let's see if we can get some other places for you. It's all of the South Birmingham counties. That would be Shelby, down into portions of Chilton and the Bibb County area, and then back over to the north of Birmingham. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning up there as well. Here's the good news. Other than right there at the extreme southern tip of Talladega, none of our coverage counties are under a warning at this time. But if we put this in motion, you can kind of see that all of this is moving east, maybe a few degrees south of due east. So I'm thinking that probably southern Talladega, which they're already experiencing some of this, maybe Clay, southwestern Clay, portions of Coosa County, Tallapoosa County, might see some of this over the next couple of hours or so. I think the north end of all of this, we're talking up there around the I-20 corridor, maybe down into the city of Talladega, maybe down into Ashland, Lineville, Wedowee, Roanoke. Your severe threat is really going to start subsiding here in the next hour or two. And I think by midnight, 1 a.m., your threat's completely done. I mean, for the entire event, you're out of this. But south of that area, we're talking Coosa, Tallapoosa, Chambers, and then over in West Georgia, maybe Troup and Harris. Your severe weather threat may continue for a few more hours. Let's go up to take a look at the graphic. And this is the latest from the National Weather Service out of Birmingham. And you can see that enhanced risk runs basically from Fayette all the way back over to Birmingham, and then down across northern Tallapoosa, southwestern Chambers. It does include towns such as Auburn, Montgomery, Alexander City, Chilton County up there at Clanton, Tuscaloosa and Birmingham and Demopolis, and then all the way down into South Alabama. And then there's just a very short span there where we're looking at a slight risk category, and that would be for most of Chambers, southwestern Randolph, central and southern Clay, and then central and northern Talladega. You're under slight risk. And then north of that, places like Wedowee up into Ranburne and back over toward Anniston and Gadsden, it's just a marginal risk. So that risk is very small. So far, we've seen 0 tornado warnings, none whatsoever. So that's an indication that so far this is not a tornadic type setup this evening. You can never rule out the possibility of a spin-up tornado when you have a severe thunderstorm, but we're not seeing a lot of rotation in these storms. But what we are seeing are gusty winds, almost nonstop lightning, and extremely heavy rainfall. You get the lightning and the extremely heavy rainfall, that's what causes the friction. That's where the lightning comes from. So that's why the lightning output is off the chain. If we come back over and look at this frame and what's going on in central Alabama, I mean, we're averaging around 600 to 700. We've even hit 1,100 strikes per minute in this complex over the last 15 or 20 minutes. So tremendous amount of lightning taking place across central Alabama with this very, very heavy rain maker system that is moving through central Alabama, slowly moving toward west central Alabama. And I think even though we will certainly see some rain showers in Clay and Randolph, I think that the best chance of seeing a severe thunderstorm warning may actually be down here in Coosa, Tallapoosa, Chambers, maybe even Lee later on, and Troop maybe, Harris maybe. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. We were very hopeful that tonight's event would not shape up, and it hasn't really when you look at the overall severe threat. Now, yes, there is a severe threat. There's no question there, but the threat is a little bit different from what it was last night. Last night, we pretty much had all modes possible, and we had a tremendous amount of wind damage. I mean, we're talking just about every county in central Alabama, east Alabama, west Georgia, and even up here in north Georgia, saw some pretty significant tree damage, power outage. I mean, I worked all night last night. It was right around noon before I actually finally got to come home and get some sleep. And here we are again. But that's what we do. We know that. We knew that when we signed up to do all of this about 40-something years ago. This is what this is. You go a long period with absolutely nothing, and then it won't stop. But I can tell you with great confidence, after we finish tonight's event, we will be done, and at least for this event, and we've got a great weekend on the way for you. So let me run over here to the chat room and see if anybody has any questions that I can answer for you. We're not going to do wall-to-wall coverage tonight. As a matter of fact, unless we get a flood emergency, or if we were to have a rogue tornado warning, that's probably going to be the only two reasons we come back. I mean, this is simple. Don't be out there driving this evening. If you're going to be traveling back toward Birmingham or even central Alabama, I wouldn't do it. You don't want to drive. This is not driving weather, even for professional drivers that know how to drive. This is not the kind of stuff you want to drive in. There's going to be a tremendous number of flooded out vehicles before this one is over with. So let's see what's happening up here in the chat room. Samantha's watching us in Alexander City. There's Chad Cook. Chad's over in LaGrange, Georgia, watching us. And Chad, we're doing great tonight. Good to see you in here this evening. Michael is watching us up in Rome, Georgia. There's Bobby G asking about Fredonia. Yeah, you're in East Alabama. Same thing. I think there's a chance that some of these showers and thunderstorms will move over the Chambers County area, but we're not looking at much of a tornado threat here. And it depends on whether this complex holds together or not, because it's not moving particularly fast as it slides off to the east-southeast. So, could be for the next several hours very stormy across all of East Alabama and West Georgia. We do have, let me pull up, just bear with me 1 second while we do this on the fly. And I want to look at that right there. All right, so we do have a severe thunderstorm watch that covers a good chunk of central Alabama, stretching from the Mississippi state line all the way over to the Georgia state line. And the easiest way to do this is to tell you who's not in the watch. In our coverage area of East Alabama and West Georgia, Randolph, Cleburne, Calhoun, not covered under the severe thunderstorm watch, nor are any of our West Georgia counties. So if you're in West Georgia, you're under no watches, you're under no warnings. If you're in Randolph, Cleburne, Calhoun, even up into Cherokee, no watches, no warnings. Everybody else in Alabama, East Alabama, Central Alabama, you are either under a severe thunderstorm watch or a severe thunderstorm warning at this hour. And again, even though we do have reports of some gusty winds out there and some of this stuff, the thing that's really concerning right now, we do have a flash flood warning that's just popped up. But the thing that's really concerning right now is the tremendous amount of rain and the lightning. I mean, the lightning is relentless. And most of you over there in East Alabama, if you look back toward the west, you can probably see the lightning show from a long way off. I mean, it's just incredible. And we're talking, at times, we're hitting over 1,000 strikes per minute just right there in that thunderstorm complex. But you can kind of see the way this is moving. Bear with me just 1 second so I can get the telestrator up here. And I'm going to kind of do some drawing here. This is kind of the way all of this stuff is moving. So, if you come up here and you slide it that way and you come over to this side and you paint it like that, then everybody that's under that arrow, any of these arrows that I just put on the screen, you're probably going to deal with this before the night is said and done. I'll zoom that out just a little bit more, and I'm going to do that for you again. I mean, yeah. And so that's really the way it's moving right there. So this is why Clay and Randolph and Cleburne were left out of the severe thunderstorm watch. Actually, I misspoke. Clay is in it. But this is why Randolph, Cleburne, and Calhoun were left out of the severe thunderstorm watch. And the Weather Service apparently got that right, because that's exactly what we've seen happen here. These storms a little bit further to the west, and they're sliding east-southeast. So I really think that Coosa, Tallapoosa, maybe part of Chambers, Lee, and then I think it works on into Columbus. I mean, it could clip Troup County. Heard you're going to see some thunder and lightning. You're going to get some rain here in an hour or so, but I think this severe part is going to stay a little bit to your west. And up here in Carroll, pretty much the same way. Randolph, you're going to probably get some showers. Same with Clay, same with northern Talladega. But I think the severe part of all of this is going to stay a little bit further west and south of you. And if I zoom back out, you'll see we've got some scattered storms down in South Alabama, some broken isolated storms behind all of this. And then it stretches along that cold front all the way back into Louisiana and even all the way back into Texas. But that front is moving east-southeast. So once this main front pushes through, then all this will be over with. We can chalk this one up for a very busy period in the 2024 severe weather season. I mean, we haven't dealt with a tremendous amount of severe weather this year, but I think we've made up for it the last couple of days. Folks, we got a little over 6 inches of rain at my house. All of that fell pretty much since midnight last night because our first thunderstorm hit us up here shortly after midnight last night. And so the bulk of that I think it was 6.33 inches of rain is what we actually recorded up here. The bulk of that fell between midnight and about 7 or 8 a.m. this morning. And most of all of that hit us in one thunderstorm that came through around 7:30 or 8 o'clock this morning. I'd say we probably got 3 inches in that one thunderstorm alone. So we had a flash flood up here. So we had water in places I didn't know we could have water this afternoon when I finally got to where I could come home and kind of check out what was going on. We have a water garden, and the water garden actually flooded and washed all of our koi fish down creek. And so for about 3 hours this afternoon, I was going to pockets of pools of water up and down our creek and retrieving fish. I don't think I made it to all of them. I think some of them got away from me, but we were able to save some of them. So that's the kind of stuff that can happen when you have 6+ inches of rain. And I think we're seeing that happen across central Alabama, especially South Birmingham. And as this slowly moves across, it's going to make for a very wet night, a lot of thunder and lightning out there, some gusty winds, yes. There could be some pockets of hail in there. We haven't seen any tornado warnings or discussion of rotating thunderstorms that could possibly produce a tornado. This has all been gusty straight-line winds, occasional large hail, tremendous amount of rain, and thunder and lightning. So that's the way we're going to leave you with this tonight. We are keeping an eye on it. If this complex really were to start getting out of hand, then we will come back and give you live coverage. But at the moment, we think what you see is what you're going to get. They're most likely going to warn every location downstream from this storm as it's moving east-southeast. So I would not at all be surprised to see a severe thunderstorm warning coming for Tallapoosa County. We're probably looking at severe thunderstorm warning. We've already got parts of Autauga County, parts of Elmore County, but Montgomery, you're likely to get a warning. I would expect Tallapoosa to get a warning. Lee County, you're probably 30 to 40 minutes away from seeing something. And that, the central and southwestern corner of Chambers could also pick up part of this storm as it moves on off to the southeast. So you could see a severe thunderstorm warning there in Chambers. And then Harris County over in Georgia down into the Columbus area will deal with this in another hour or so as well. So thank you for joining us for this update. This is what we're looking at. Once all of this stuff gets out of here tonight, then you're going to be in a much better situation. You don't have any thunderstorms in Woodland. What you're hearing is going to be strokes of lightning that's taking place up there around Anniston, and that thunderstorm that's going to be running right out I-20. Everything is fine in Clay. Everything is fine in Randolph. You're seeing thunder. I mean, you're seeing lightning and you're hearing thunder, but it's from storms in other locations. So we'll watch this for you, and if we think that we have a life-threatening situation that you need to know about, I'll be right back with you here on Dr. Don's Weather, and we'll continue our coverage. If I don't see you anymore tonight, check me out first thing tomorrow morning with your Friday edition of your prime time forecast right here on Dr. Don's Weather. Have a good night, and folks, be safe out there. Just stay indoors and let this stuff pass. See you tomorrow.